What is up, guys? Welcome to my interview series, Back to the Covers. In these interviews with members of our drum community, we look back at their first YouTube cover and celebrate how far they have come since starting and what got them started as a YouTuber. We check out how they've improved their drumming and their setup. Join me as we revisit our YouTube drummers' past and look to their futures. What is up, guys? Welcome to episode 2 of Back to the Covers, my interview series where we choose members of the drum community to look at their past, present and their future. So without further delay, my guest at this time is the epic Eric Herringer of the Drum Addict. Woo!
Hey, what's up, man?
Hi, man. How are you?
I am very well. It's good to see you, brother.
Oh, you too. I've been excited about this all day.
Me too.
So, Eric, of course, we are going to look at your past, your present, and your future. But before we do, we need to talk about Back to the Future. Tell me your thoughts on Back to the Future, sir.
Absolutely. So, I recall seeing them all in the movie theater, and for me, I think that they're one of the few trilogies where each one of them is as superb as the last one. It's hard to pick a favorite. I think every other trilogy that's out there, I have one that's a standout. Mm-hmm. But I loved all of them, and they kept everything consistent. And with the exception of Crispin Glover, the cast stayed the same. And that's because he's kind of an odd dude and was or at least I don't know him, so I really shouldn't comment. But at any rate, I loved it. In fact, I've always wanted to get 3 of the scale models, one of each of the DeLoreans from each of the films. Yeah. And I just I've never done it. And so it's a shame. But
so on that note, merch. Now I believe I'm going to do this every episode. I'm going to show you some different merch every time. I actually sent you a picture when I got this. I was at a market on holiday.
That's so cool.
I usually open my my merch, but I'm not opening this one. It's so good. Dr. Emmett Bound, but the original. This is a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing.
The packaging is as awesome as the figure.
If I ever see any others, I'm going to get them. But yeah, this is my first bit of merch that I'm showing.
Nice. I know they make one of Marty McFly. Yeah. But I've seen the Doc one around, but I almost bought it the other day, truthfully. I was like, well, I don't really need to spend the money on it right now, but it'd be cool to have it for Ash's interview.
Actually, I think it was also, I want to say it cost about 30 or 40 pounds. I was going to say quid, but it's pounds. But I think I haggled the guy by a $5 just to haggle.
Yeah. just to try to get a little discount. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's awesome, dude. I love it.
Cool. Anyway, so Back to the Future, awesome. Everybody loves it. So, without further delay, let's hop into our DeLorean and go check out your past. So, Eric, welcome to your past. So, tell me, what year and what month are we in?
This would have been March of 2020. Our first drum cover. This is so cool. And I don't mean the drum cover is super cool, but it's just kind of cool to revisit it.
Yeah.
And the attic looks so different too.
What made you start a YouTube channel?
Yeah, man. So we were living in Lexington, Kentucky, and I didn't have a place for the drums. I was just playing once a month at church. Which is great, but it's not much of a creative outlet. Just doing something that infrequently. So we were moving, and I knew the home we were moving into, I'd have space for the drums, and we're originally going to use that attic space as a storage. And Loretta graciously, lovingly, brilliantly, amazingly said, we're not going to have room in the office space back behind me now. She's like, why don't you take that space? We'll paint it. We'll turn it into a drum studio. I was like, oh, even cooler. So it was kind of a musical outlet, but then we were talking about what we could do that, just kind of that was different or unique. And because there's a lot of great drum cover channels out there, a lot of drummers way better than myself. And we felt like we were supposed to kind of share reasons behind the songs we were picking, to share a little bit of our story. And by doing that, kind of just hopefully deposit a little bit of faith, hope, love, and peace into people's lives. So that was kind of the motivation.
Great. And was it always going to be called The Drum Attic? I mean, it makes sense.
It was months before there was ever a channel, or a video. The name, the artwork, everything was already in place. So I put a lot of thought into stuff before I pull the proverbial trigger on it, usually. Yeah, and you forget, you're like, well, I haven't put a lot of boots on the ground work, but you've put a lot of mental work into planning and preparing, and then that makes the other part of it easier, I think, the implementing. Yeah.
Totally. Cool. So this is Migraine by 21 Pilots, who I really enjoy, but the only time I hear them is when you do a cover. I don't know why. I should really add them to my library. But why did you choose this song?
Yeah, so one of the things that Loretta and I are pretty passionate about is suicide awareness and prevention. So we wanted our first outing, if you will, to be something that spoke to to mental health, suicide awareness and prevention, and just letting people know that it's okay to not be okay. You're not alone. You have a purpose. Yeah. And there's people that care about you. And we also, of course, provided them with a number to call if they needed to talk to somebody.
Just literally on the screen then. So that was perfect.
Yes, it
timing.
was. I timed it perfectly.
And I will put that number in the video description, as well as the UK version of that number as well. But we're going to talk about that again in a bit. But anyway, okay. Wonderful reason, wonderful cover. So tell me about the kit you're playing. Do you still have it?
Yeah, so I do. This is a Tama Superstar Classic. Love this kit. Right now it's at our church, so I get to play that on the Sundays that I play. I got a 12, 14, 16 set up there with the toms, 22 by 18 kick. And I think that snare, which I still have, I have it in the attic right now, is a 6 by 14. And then my little 6 by 10 inch Mapex steel snare over on the side, which I love.
Awesome. So tell me about the audio equipment you're using.
Yeah, so my little Beats mixing headphones, which
it's such a cool color as well. Such a cool color.
They are, and I mix with them still. I don't play with them anymore, but I mix my recordings with them. But we had a mic on the kick drum, which was by the brand is Hiemu, I think is how you say it. It's Hiemu, I think. Low cost, but gets the job done. So if you're looking for an affordable way to start miking an acoustic kit, look into them on Amazon. And then I had 2 overheads that I had for doing some podcasting. So I just threw them up, and that's literally all that we recorded this cover with. Through, I believe we had I'm trying to look, a Behringer 4 channel. Yep. Audio interface going right into the computer for GarageBand. And I think I had a Behringer 8 channel little mixing board there too. Yeah. I don't remember why, but I still have it.
Okay. Cool. Now, what about the video equipment? What did you use back then?
Yeah, man. So we were fortunate. We did some media work in when we were in Lexington for some different companies. So we had accumulated some Canon T5i cameras and a GoPro Hero 6 with a Karma grip, which is awesome. That's what Loretta uses for the moving, and then a couple old GoPro Hero 3s. So I'd like to replace those eventually, but we're still recording with the same equipment that we record with now, or recorded with then.
Wow, really? Okay. Now, and the wonderful Loretta, of course, she's always filmed and done that extra flyby,
yes.
the flyby angle, which is awesome.
That's right. She's awesome. Yeah. Tyson Wade likes to say that she's really brave because she gets like up in the business of what's happening and
up in the business.
But yeah, and it's cool because not only is she involved with the production of it, she keeps me motivated and has wonderful creative ideas, and I'm really blessed to have somebody that's partnering with me like that with this. So we view it as we don't just view it as a team effort. It is a team effort.
Awesome.
It wouldn't happen with the same level of excellence that it happens with if Loretta wasn't part of it. So
wonderful, lovely to hear. Awesome story. Okay, so something that I really enjoy about your videos is that you always talk after it, and you've done this from day one. So let's watch you. Just over 2 years ago, the first time that you spoke on camera. Here we go.
Hey everybody, I'm Eric Henninger, and this is The Drum Addict. Thank you so much for tuning into my very first drum cover. I've been out of the loop playing for a while, so I'm kind of chipping off some of the rust. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I want this channel to be a place where you can teach me a little bit, and maybe you can learn a little bit from me. I know I'm not the greatest drummer in the world, but boy, I really enjoy playing, and music speaks to me so deeply. And so let's learn from one another if we can. Leave comments, share with me the tips and the tricks that you've learned for stuff. Ask me questions if you've got any. Kind of experimenting kind of with some of the setup here. One of the things I want to do with this channel is also just kind of tell you a little bit at the end of each song, like why I picked that song. I had several songs in mind for what I was going to use for the very first drum cover, and my wife and I talked about which one we were going to use, and this wasn't even on the map, though it's one of my favorite songs by 21 Pilots, who's one of my favorite bands, in case you couldn't, tell from the stuff. Nerd.
But this kind of just evolved, and I let be this one, and I thought it was a good one. It really speaks to me on several levels in my own life and in ways that my life has been touched. Anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, suicide have all been kind of in my journey. And so I love the honesty of this song, the creative way it expresses that struggle, and then also the way that it colors it with hope. Life has a hopeful undertone. So I wanted to encourage you today that there's hope. You're not alone, and you struggle with anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, whatever it is, you're not alone. For me, my hope came in understanding who God says I am and how he sees me. I hope you find your hope there today too. Tune in next time. Thank you so much again for being a part of this, and hopefully we'll have a great time and we'll learn something together. With Loretta, we've got a couple of reviews up there, and she has a whole lot of fun doing it, and she is a lot of fun to watch. She's a lot of fun to be married to. We also do a little channel called Brick or Brack, which is just doing whatever. We've got one video up there. So check those out, and awesome.
Okay, great. Now, like I said, I absolutely love it when you talk at the end. I wouldn't say I'm not a religious person at all, but I respect your religion, and I love when you talk about it. But I love how real you are, like talking about suicide and your struggle. It's just how genuine a person you are and how real you keep it. You keep it real. You keep it real, man. Now, obviously you seem completely different. That was the first time you did a recording, right? Now, I don't know if you actually know this or we've even figured it out, but you know my Drum Radar series? Well, actually, a lot of times I say it. I usually say it at the end whenever I record myself talking. I always say, and we'll see you next time. That is a nod to you because you say it.
Oh,
right?
You're awesome.
But that's a great way of closing out. I could never think. But that video made me laugh because you just went, awesome, at the end. Like you didn't know how to end it.
I found that tagline.
You didn't know how to end it. You didn't know how to end it. So you just ended it with awesome. It was great.
Awesome.
But anyway,
awesome.
I love it.
Funny.
So how do you feel about watching that back?
Yeah, I feel like you were talking about just kind of being a, this isn't the word to use, but like just a sincere person and trying to be very real. Yeah. I think that just generally speaking, like you were talking about religious or not religious, is I think that what people really need, what we all need, is more authentic people. And one of the things that has frustrated me with church, culture and growing up in and around that and still being a part of that is we tend to put on our good face for people, and then everybody else is left thinking, man, Eric's got all his crap together, which he doesn't, but it leaves somebody thinking that. They're like, well, am I the only one that, like, in church circles, like, that loves Jesus but feels like they're falling apart inside? And so I feel like that's, if we're just all a little bit more open with each other about our struggles in life, that alone, that solidarity gives hope, and lets somebody know, oh, good, well, I'm not the only one that has dealt with, this, whether it's, anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, whatever it may be. And that's kind of what we want to do. And we try to be like, I try to be this, like this. I feel like I'm the same person on camera as I am off.
Yeah.
I'll use your channel as a confession spot if you want to keep this in the video. Loretta found this shirt and it's awesome. It says, "I love Jesus, but I cuss a little," and that kind of sums both of us up pretty well.
Cool.
And the reason, like, you don't hear us, like, and it's never offends me when I hear it, because, like, I'm like, yeah, I say that word 10 times a day, or whatever. But we want our channel to be somewhere where somebody from, anybody from any age, can turn it on, and it's just kind of family friendly. But just because Loretta and I talk about our faith does not mean our poo doesn't stink, or that, that we've got it all together over here. Yeah. We're figuring it out as we go, and we try to not be preachy about it. Just like, this is just our experience. Cool. And do with it what you want.
Now, the last bit in the past, if you could indeed go back in a DeLorean and speak to yourself back then, what advice would you give yourself?
Wow.
About your drumming and your channel. Let's not go too deep.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you get real existential with that, yeah, I would just be like, I think I would just remind myself to always just keep having fun with it. I was listening to an interview with Eric F. Drums today, and he was talking about just doing it for fun, doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
And even if nobody likes what you're doing. And I was like, yeah, like, even in our attempt to want to, like, leave something positive with people, I have fun. I enjoy sharing the drums with people. And then, so I guess I would go back and be like, hey, you're going to meet some really cool people, so just get excited about that already. Yeah. I had no idea the kind of people that this would connect us with, people like you. And I'm not going to start naming names because I'll forget somebody, and I don't want to do that. But awesome. I don't know if that answered the question at all.
No, you did. Now, on that note, that's a perfect note for us to hop back in the DeLorean and come back to the present. Okay, so welcome back to the present, Eric. So you have remastered this track for me. Thank you very much, dude. How did you find the experience of re-recording this?
Oh, when you asked me to do this, I was so excited because I had been thinking about, should I redo the first one just as a thing?
Yeah. And
I'm like, nah, let's just keep moving on. So to have the opportunity to do it, and with what I've learned about mixing and with the new kit and some new cymbals, like, I got really excited. So I just kind of sat down and listened to the track again and realized, wow, there was a lot of stuff that I did that wasn't even part of the song. I just kept playing through places where there was where there weren't any drums originally, which is fine, but I tried to keep it a little bit more, like, true to the track this time around, I guess, while adding my own flavor, changing up the shirt I was wearing, still 21 Pilots. But it was a great experience, and I'm glad you asked me to do it because I probably would have never done it if you hadn't asked.
But the Dramatic, look, I mean, it's just got so much more swagger. Look at it. The lighting. I mean, I know on some of your songs you fill it up with fog as well.
Yeah.
Your kit, man. I mean, something that we've got to talk about now we're in the present. I mean, one of the drums, you made it, right? That's your drum. You now make drums.
Yeah, so the snare that I'm playing is one that we built. It's called the New Creation. It's a 6 by 13 wide, 10-ply maple, and it's got a fabric wrap on it, which just looks cool. Totally different texture and look for a drum.
Yeah.
The kit itself is a Mapex Saturn Evolution, which I absolutely love. My buddy Marcus Drums was playing a Saturn Evolution kit, and so I was chatting with him too about them. I had never played Mapex aside from the little side snare, which was in both videos, just with some stickers all over it this time. Awesome. And I'll tell you what, it's a birch maple shells on the kit, and they just sound phenomenal. They stay in tune really well, and I'm just a big fan of those Mapex Saturn Evolutions. So.
Awesome. Lovely. Like I said, so you've started Addict Drums now. How long have you been doing that? How long have you been making the custom drums? I want to say about 6 months. Am I right?
Yeah, we kind of were noodling off the radar with it.
Yeah.
Before the new year, and then we officially became an LLC in January of this year.
Yeah, I thought it was about 6 months.
So I think at this point we've probably built about, I don't know, 15 to 20 drums. Awesome. Some for our line, I don't know what to call it, but and then others for customers, and just getting some really good feedback, and we're excited about it. We're getting all of our standard maple shells from a place called Keller Shells, which my understanding is the same place that like SJC gets their maple shells from. And then our other woods come from a place called Nordic, which is part owned by Bill Dedamore from Pork Pie. And all our metal shells are coming from World Max USA, which is like the premier supplier for metal shells to a lot of large companies. Yeah. With the wood drums, we're cutting our own bearing edges now. When we started, we weren't because we didn't have the tools to do it. Now we're able to do that. So we're cutting the edges, drilling, finishing. If somebody has a very special request, we have an artist that we hire to do some of that stuff. All of his stuff is like labeled. If you go to the website at customdrums.com, it'll let you know which ones our artist Billy Smith did. The other ones I've done. So usually the ones that I've done are just like, oh, that's cool, but not like jaw dropping. We did he did a Christine theme, the 70, I can't remember the year, but it's a Plymouth, the front end of a car on the drum for Michael J Drum Channel. And it's just a piece of
I remember that. I remember seeing that on his
artwork.
channel. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. But no, I think it's awesome. I love the branding. And again, it's because we've already spoke about you're an authentic person. That really comes across in your branding for that as well, your Dramatic drum. So yeah, that's awesome. So let's go back to your channel. So obviously we know the kit's changed. Your recording process, has that changed at all? I mean, are you still do the audio recording the same and the video in the same, or has anything changed there?
The video is pretty much the same. I'll kind of work through this backwards. When I edited that first one, I stacked all of the cameras up in a timeline in Premiere Pro. What a pain in the butt that was. And I was like, I know there's a way to do this multicam. Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to go figure it out, watch some videos, and now I can edit them in real time. So that has saved a lot of post time. We are recording with Shure PG 50, I want to say 56 mics on the toms, a Shure SM57 on the snare, and a PG 52 on the kick. Same two overheads we've always had, and that's all running through an 8-channel I think this one was done with a Personas before it kind of pooped out on us. And now it's running through Logic Pro. So lots more options in there. So I've been experimenting, easy for me to say, a lot with the mix and EQs and just kind of trying to get a good solid drum sound. So
cool. So big change with the audio, not so much the actual filming, the editing of the video has changed. It's just easier. You've learned how to do it quicker, which is great. Where are you at with subs right now as we speak?
Let's see. I just looked at it earlier. 789, I think, was the last count. So
cool. Awesome.
We're
awesome.
Yeah, it's exciting. Like the fact, honestly, and you and I have talked about this offline before, but like the fact that anybody really gives a crap about what we're doing, it's just such a blessing. Like that one person would take the time to watch even 10 seconds of me drumming or me or Loretta talking is just outstanding to me. Yeah. And then add somebody wearing one of our shirts or something. You're just like, holy crud. What in the world? It's just so neat. So we're very thankful and do feel very blessed that so many people, like what we're doing. And
awesome.
And I think you just paid Loretta and I the best compliment that anybody could pay us. It's not what a great drummer or what cool videos, but is you guys just seem like authentic people. Yeah. So thank you. That made my whole week, man.
Awesome. Cool. So we did, when we were in the past and as we just came into the present, you were on about all the people you have met. So do you remember when you found the community or the community found you? What was that about?
Yeah. I can't think of a very, like a specific.
Yeah.
I think that I like Eric F. Drums I was following him. He did an interview with Drumman 190. And that kind of, I think, was what I was like, oh, and then I started seeing, like, it was like the veil got pulled away and I started to see this amazing community and started to just try to plug in, with some of those folks and interact with them. And I've made some, a solid handful of people that I consider friends.
Awesome. Yeah, now, the last question in the present, what do you love about being a drum tuber? Which I nickname us, we're YouTubers with drums. The drum tuber, what do you love about it?
I love that. I meant to mention that to you earlier, that phrase you coined when you were talking to David, Daddy Drums, drum tuber. Yeah, man, I think I love the connection with people. And I don't mean like just when I get nice comments, like on the videos. Like I appreciate all that. But it's like there's always room to grow and room to be better. But I think that the connection with people that I've made, the people that I'm in touch with, not just via YouTube, but through private messaging on Instagram or Facebook or you and I will chat via video call sometimes. And I love that, man. That is definitely my favorite part, just connecting with people. And when somebody says that we shared something that they identified with and that it kind of gave them, a little bit of hope, that's just, that's kind of like life's not just about ourselves, it's about making somebody else's life better too. Wonderful. And that's my favorite. And I love the convenience of just being able to play drums in my home and not have to travel, to do it.
Wonderful. Okay, well, without further ado, let's hop back in the DeLorean and go back to the future. Okay, so we are now in the future, our final step on your interview. So, talk to me about any future plans, future of your channel, got anything you want to divulge or any exclusive, or if not, that's cool.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, just keep watching. No. Yeah, dude, I'm excited about, like, I guess like when we started the channel, we didn't have any expectations in terms of like growth. Just again, like just super thrilled, like I said, that people seem to like what we're doing. We're gonna keep doing covers. we're gonna keep doing for the foreseeable future, at least through this year. We're gonna be doing our backbeat, series too. Like I've started asking people because of Loretta's wonderful idea. She's like, just ask like a would you rather question and just make up the weirdest, most random thing. So I was like, okay, cool. Because there's other guys doing interviews and stuff, and so I don't want to like steal their thunder, and I don't want to just be white noise in the mix. So I do it because I enjoy talking to people, and so we're gonna keep doing that. Awesome. We'll keep doing our shout outs and such stuff. We just again, I think I mentioned it earlier. We'll be doing a giveaway of an Attic custom snare drum when we hit 1,000 subscribers. We're in what did we say? We're 211.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, you're
away from that.
Yeah.
So we're getting there, and then in terms of the drums, we keep doing what we're doing there, and hopefully grow. Hopefully get into some physical drums into some places. We eventually want to turn one of our buildings on our property into a shop. So we'll like in terms of like a storefront. So
awesome.
we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing as long as we feel like that's what we're supposed to be doing. And the fact that we've literally done, I think we did with 2 weeks of an exception, like early on where I did like a couple different types of videos. We've done a cover. We've released a cover every Wednesday for 2 years, which is just crazy to me. So we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing, man, and see where it takes us and all that.
So you've got something coming up in September where we're gonna work together again. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So we decided this year that this year moving forward, we're gonna make September Suicide Awareness and Prevention Month, which it is, I think, globally, but in the drum attic. So every song that we're gonna do is gonna be related to suicide awareness and prevention. And one of the weeks we're doing a 16 drummer collab that you, Ash, are editing together for us. And I can even tell you what song it's going to be. It's going to be Last Night by Skillet. Super excited. This is like a bigger coordinating undertaking than I've ever even wanted to do, just because it's a lot of people to coordinate, and but we've had a really good response for it. Really excited. And then we're also working on a full band collab with our musicians from church for a Linkin Park song, One More Light.
Awesome.
That's going to be dope.
Awesome song,
and
man. Oh man, what a song for it.
And we've here in our town in Brevard in the last year, we've had, I don't even know what the number is, but we've had a too large. One is too big of a number, but we've had several like young high school kids commit suicide. And so some of the guys and gals in our band at church teach in the school district here. Yeah. So we wanted to do something kind of for our town too that spoke to that. And then and they're such talented players too. So I'm really excited for that to come together. And then there'll be a couple standard type drum covers, one that Loretta's picked and one that I've picked. They're actually right now they're both the same song title but different songs. So that'll be fun. Where suicide awareness and prevention is such, and we don't talk about it every drum cover, but if you'll watch our videos, it's a recurring theme. But we do have an ongoing fundraiser for the organization To Write Love on Her Arms. They are a nonprofit organization helping people struggling with suicidal thoughts, depression, anxiety, addiction, etc. A very great organization. So we have 2 t-shirt designs at our Teespring store. If you've watched our videos, you've heard this spiel before.
And there's going to be links in this video too.
Awesome. Well, 100% of the profits from those 2 designs goes. Loretta and I don't get any money from that. It all goes to Write Love on Her Arms. So yeah.
Man, that's so well rehearsed. You've got it down to a T.
Thanks, man. I've said it. I think I've said it like maybe 100 times now.
Okay. So Eric, it has been an absolute honor and a pleasure to have you on, dude. Thank you so much. I love talking to you. Yeah, how have you found this experience of being on the show and talking about your past, present, and your future?
Dude, I love it. And also it's been my pleasure to do this. When you reached out to me about it, you just said, you sent me, I think, like a graphic and we're like, are you in?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't even know what it is, but I'm 100% all in.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it was just the date teaser. It was the date teaser in the font.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what it is, but it looks Back to the Future, so I'm 100% on board.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Just to go back and revisit the old song and then remaster that was just a fun experience, just all on its own. And then of course, yeah, dude, I feel the same way. Like, if we didn't have like lives outside of just chatting with one another, I think we could spend a whole day on the phone,
Totally.
just talking about life, drums, movies, collectibles. I think we have a lot in common.
Yeah. Awesome, bro. Like I said, it was an absolute pleasure, and I'm gonna end the show as I always will with the wise words of Dr. Emmett Brown. Your future hasn't been written yet. No one has. Your future is whatever you make it, so make it a good one. And in the words of Dramatic, we will see you next time. You are epic. Thank you very much.